Hey guys, it's Kelsey and I'm back with another scrapbooking process video, and we are documenting Avery's first Christmas. I had not done this one because I've been using How to Kill a Kit with Styles and they weren't Christmas themed. But now that I'm doing kind of miscellaneous pages this month, I really need to knock out this Christmas page for Avery's book because I skipped it to keep doing layouts that went with the current collection I was working with. So I have a second to squeeze in a Christmas layout, so we're going to do it. I love this page because it is made almost all with Happy Mail, so that's really exciting. I love being able to use Happy Mail, and I'm pretty sure this entire page is Happy Mail. So this Simple Stories Country Christmas collection was sent to me because I did not have any Christmas collections for a long time, and you guys have stocked me up, and I love this one. I used this collection a lot for my own Christmas this past year, but I really wanted to use it. I had enough left to get another layout out of it, so I'm pulling it in. I'm using this holly background with a couple scraps I already had. There were some 6x8 papers, so I'm trying to squeeze those in for some additional pieces, but I was really excited to get to use this again. So I'm just going to pretty much use my scraps. I kind of just laid them out how they made sense to form my layers here. I'm just trying to be strategic on how I use the smaller pieces to make them look larger, and it kind of helps that I have this large wide band going up the middle because obviously I can stretch all of these papers behind that gap. So I'm just piecing together all these pieces. It kind of just made sense for me to do it like this, so it didn't take me too long to do this portion. I did have two 4x6 photos, but there was a lot of dead space in one of them, so I did just mat them together. I really tried to make it into like a 6x6 square. I thought that'd be a cute proportion to use as a photo collage, but I think it is a little wider, so it's not a perfect square. But I really like this. Avery's so cute in these pictures in his little Santa Claus onesie and his little hat, so I definitely had to document this for him. There's a couple cut aparts from different embellishments I'd already had ready, as well as a couple other die cuts that I'm going to pop up on foam and layer on top of these pieces, so you can kind of see me working out what I want. But I definitely wanted a cluster on either side of the photos, kind of creating again this diagonal look that I really like on layouts like this. So I'm thinking this is how my clusters will start. I'm just going through the die cuts I have to the left there and seeing what I can use. And again, just popping different elements up on some foam. There's some word die cuts. One says Peace and Joy, one says Merry Christmas. So I'm thinking I don't really need a title on here because it's very obvious and it says Merry Christmas on these pieces. I thought about putting, Christmas, like the typical Christmas title, but as we all know, as scrapbookers, spelling out Christmas uses your alpha sheets like nobody's business, and I already am having issues finding letters in like my whites and stuff, which is what I was wanting to use, and I don't even think I have a green for this one or a red. So yeah, I was like, I don't even think I have letters to spell out Christmas, so I'm just going to forego it. It's pretty obvious this is Christmas, and so now I'm just trying to figure out how I can beef out these clusters. I was worried the holly background would look a little too busy, but I didn't have a lot of 12x12s left to pick from. But I think with how the other patterns like this red and this Christmas tree green look pretty solid, I think it gives you enough of a break where it's not like all super busy pattern, even though everything is a pattern. So hopefully that reads okay. Again, just going through and trying to figure out what other elements I can use. I'm bringing in my favorite border punch, which is this notebook edge that Kelly sent me. I use this so much. It's my favorite border punch. And I thought it would be nice to have some decorative edges, but I just, for whatever reason, I wasn't feeling the scallop. So I wanted to do this cool notebook edge. So I had a scrap of a green polka dot. I decided to punch a border on and add that underneath that lower cluster. And then you will see, I don't think I've done it yet, but I have a scrap of white that I'm going to do a border punch on and have it running up to the left side of the plaid. So I think that pattern, or that kind of the notebook edge texture, if you will be in multiple areas. And I think adding white to a couple spots helped freshen up the page and give you a little bit more of a break as well, on top of the white mat that I have already put around my photos. But I'm just putting these two clusters together. I really liked how they looked as they were, so I'm going to go ahead and commit. I'm just layering the 2-word stickers over this little Santa doily piece and that little bird on top of, I don't know if that's a holly branch or a pine branch, but I popped that up on some foam as well. Then again, here's another piece of the border punch I think I'm going to add somewhere. Oh no, that's actually, I added the border punch to this cluster on that little receipt. I don't even know what that little journaling piece is supposed to be, but I added it for another layer, another texture. So I did use my border punch on that too, just so that border punch was somewhere else. But that little bell with some holly is popped up on some foam. I'm realizing this layout's going to be very papery, so I like popping things up on some foam so that it gives you a little bit of dimension and excitement. And now I'm staring at it because I really put these clusters together pretty easily, and then I got stuck right after that, not sure what to do. So I recently had doodled on a page for it was for the Scraptacular Cropping Club's challenge to do doodly borders, and I had so much fun with it. I used to doodle all the time, so I decided to doodle again. These markers I got from my mom, so I'm including it in my Happy Mail. And so I just decided to go with a dark green, and doodle around all of these layers. I think it'll help it look more cohesive, and for whatever reason, adding those lines make it look more clean. Like, I don't know. Sometimes it does, sometimes it doesn't. But for on this one, when I was feeling like all of these patterns were kind of maybe too busy, adding these like straight lines around the edges made it look like crisper to me. I don't know why. But I guess you can make your own opinion. I'm just doing that little dot technique Desiree showed us in a couple spots just to make it not a like straight line. And I'm doing that around everything. I had to change markers because the one I wanted to use was dying, but I had another one that was pretty close. I don't think you can tell I changed colors. But I'm doing that around all the paper layers, so it just takes me a minute. I'm just using my ruler to make it easy. I don't even know, I think it was like maybe a 1/8 of an inch in around, I didn't really measure how far in these lines were. I just tried to make sure they were uniform across all of the papers that I was going to do this on. So yeah, it takes me a minute to get all of that down, and then I definitely want to add more to my clusters. I want some different textures. I have several different Christmas collections now, and you saw many of them when I documented Christmas last year, so I'm thinking I might go through some of the other Christmassy collections I have to see if there is anything that can coordinate. This Country Christmas collection is a lot more, rustic, and I guess it's a little vintagey, and a lot of the other Christmas stuff I have is very like bright and clean and like not vintage. So I was trying to figure out if there was anything I could squeeze in from these other collections that are very, very different, that can go on this page. But I just wanted there to be more. I need more embellishment. I need some more fun and whimsy. It is Christmas, and I think this collection's super cute, but I wanted like an extra kind of more fun element. So I go through my Christmas stash in a little bit and try to figure that out. But this is where I go ahead and do the border punch on a piece of white, and I add that to the left side of the plaid, and I love the addition of the white there. I think it ties in really good to the white frame, but it adds an extra like fresh detail. So I'm just going to tuck that in there. I love the way that looks, especially going over the red. I think that looks awesome. So now I'm doing my evaluation of the page and trying to figure out where I go next. And this is where I go through some other Christmas stuff. And I have some brads in here from one collection. And I don't remember which collection these other pieces came from, but I really wanted to use these two candy canes. I thought I have two clusters on either side of the photo. I could kind of have a candy cane facing in to the page from either side. And I thought because it was white and red, even though it's a very different aesthetic. It's Christmas and it's simple enough where I think it goes. So I just added a candy cane to both areas. I think that makes it more fun and more whimsical. And then I still felt like I needed a finishing touch and maybe another layer. So these pack of labels, my mom got a ton of, so she gave me a couple packs of these labels, and there were some red ones on there. So I'm just tucking a red label into both clusters again, just to add some more white, another pop of red, and an extra layer. And I think having that red that is a brighter red, similar to the candy cane, it helps the candy cane fit in a little bit more. So the candy cane's not the only brighter red on there. You also have this label that ties in. And then now I think I'm going through all of my enamel dots. I know I have some red enamel dots, and I do, thanks to Karina. Karina sent me these, and they're really cool. They have like silver glitter embellishments on some of them, and I was like waiting for the right page to use them on, and for, like using them on the Christmas page, it just makes me think of them as Christmas ornaments, having the silver detail on them. So I was really excited to get to finally use these, and that was my finishing touch. So here are the close-ups. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I will see you in the next one. Bye.